Hey, Mrs. Feldman from next door just stopped me on the way in. Did you say something to her again?
Huh? What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Didn't you tell her things about me that aren't even true?
Oh, that. Yeah, I saw her in the morning when she was walking her dog. So we just stopped to chat for a little bit. You know, just friendly small talk.
She asked me why I don't make breakfast for you. That I should make some effort to do so from time to time. You really need to stop making it seem like I'm some lazy wife who doesn't do anything around the house.
That's why I don't like talking with Mrs. Feldman. She wants to meddle in everyone's business, but she can't keep her mouth shut. Just because she heard something from me doesn't mean she needs to go and blurt it out to you.
That's not the point! It's because you don't tell the whole story and leave her to make assumptions. Besides, if she's gonna keep nagging me about it, I can start making you breakfast. Every morning!
It was just a joke. Jeez, you're too serious sometimes. Maybe I left out some of the truth, but that was only to make our conversation less boring. You think I actually enjoy talking to that old lady? She just has too much time on her hands. And she surely seemed very entertained with my story. Let her think that I'm some hopeless husband, and that you're the one who wears the pants in our relationship. Doesn't it make for a better story that way?
Have you ever thought about how I feel when you spread rumors like that?
Okay, I get it. The next time I see Mrs. Feldman, I'll correct my story. So just chill, okay?
You don't need to go out of your way to tell her otherwise. But I would feel better if you didn't go around telling our neighbors that I don't do any of the housework in the first place.
I didn't think you would get so worked up over such a small thing.
Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure there isn't a single person out there who would be happy to hear false rumors being spread about them.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just got a bit carried away. Don't be so mad, okay?
I don't need any of your shallow apologies. And where are you, by the way? Why aren't you at home?
Well, I had a call from a client earlier, and they wanted to get together for a little powwow. So I'm on my way to meet them now.
You mean just going out for drinks, right?
I guess you can call it that. But you know how important these kinds of gatherings are. It's easier to talk business when everyone is more relaxed after a few drinks. And who knows, it might lead to a new business venture.
Right, like anything good has ever come of these so-called gatherings.
Anyways, one of the people who's coming tonight, he's a pretty successful blogger. I was hoping to get some pointers from him so I can finally make my debut as a blogger too. Apparently, you can still make a fortune from affiliate marketing.
I don't have anything against you pursuing your own hobbies, but shouldn't you focus first on your career?
Don't be so hard-headed about everything. You never know when you'll encounter the chance of a lifetime. What if this is finally my chance to succeed? Oh, so, by the way, I borrowed some money from our petty stash.
What? But that money is to cover unexpected expenses. How much did you take?
Just $100. That's not even much if you think about the potential outcome of tonight's meeting. You should be proud that I'm not planning to spend any more than that.
But we're barely saving anything each month because of your overspending.
Don't worry, I'll give it back next month.
You said that last month too, you know. You hardly have any income, but you're such a spendthrift.
It's when you say things like this.
What do you mean?
You know, I'm doing the best I can, but you never give me any credit for my efforts. And then, you keep rubbing it in my face that I don't have a stable income. You make me seem worthless.
But it's the truth. And I'm only telling you as it is.
You should know by now that guys have something called pride. Isn't it up to the wife to make their husbands look good in front of other people? And not completely berate them and make them feel inferior? Which, by the way, makes me far less determined about finding a job. Maybe that's why I need to go and gossip about you to our neighbors.
Fine, I get it. But if you had any complaints, why didn't you tell me directly? Like you did just now. At least if I'm aware of what's making you unhappy about the way I am, then I can make an effort to change for the better. I just don't want you to go complaining to people who have no business getting involved in our disagreements. It hurts my feelings when you do that.
Well, you can start by showing more leniency towards me. Then I won't go around calling you my good-for-nothing wife.
Good for nothing, huh? So that's what you've been saying about me?
No, that's not what I meant. You know, it was just a slip of the tongue.
I thought I was doing my best to be a supportive wife to you all this time. But now I see very clearly where I actually stand with you.
I'm telling you, that was just a joke too. You're taking this way out of perspective.
Well, maybe someone needs to tell you that there are some things that you just don't joke about.
Okay, you can tell me whatever you think I need to hear. After I get home. I'm almost at the restaurant, so I'll see you back at home, okay?
See? You always find a way to avoid talking about things like this.
Don't worry. I promise I'll listen to everything you have to say this time. You can believe me.
Hi, Gabrielle. How have you been? It's been quite a while since we last spoke. I'm just wondering if you'll be visiting us during the holidays this year? Hi, Carol. It's so good to hear from you. We're doing great. How about yourself? I'm sorry that I've been out of touch for a while. Things have been a bit hectic recently. But yes, it would be such a pleasure to visit you again this year. I'm glad that you're well. You know you're always welcome here, and we always look forward to your visits. Just bring yourselves, and we'll provide everything else for you. Thank you so much. We can't wait to see you during the holiday season. By the way, how are you getting on with Nathan recently? He can be a bit dramatic sometimes, so I hope he's not causing you any trouble. And the two of you haven't visited for at least a few months, so I was getting a bit worried. I just thought he made some insensitive comments towards you, and got on your bad side. Well, nothing out of the ordinary, I suppose. I see. Well, Gabrielle, I have a small favor to ask of you, if you don't mind. I'm pretty sure you don't even want to hear something like this from me, but can I be a bit honest with you about something? Sure. Is everything okay? I don't want you to think I'm being inconsiderate for even getting involved in your marital problems, but if you're a full-time housewife, why don't you at least cook for your husband? As his mother, I still worry about his well-being, and I think that being hungry will affect his job performance at work. Don't you agree? Wait, a full-time housewife? I've been working full-time since last year. I'm pretty sure I mentioned at the time about being offered a job. Perhaps you forgot? No, I remember. But you ended up leaving right away, no? Nope. I still work for the same company, as a matter of fact. But Nathan told me that you quit as soon as your 3-month training period ended. Something about not getting along with your manager, and that when you had to deal with a difficult customer, you started to use violent language and had to be let go. He said that about me? It's literally the exact opposite. All of that is what's happening to him right now. He got into an argument with his supervisor, so he decided that he would start working from home, and one day just left his job, without any kind of heads up or discussion with me. What? Are you saying that he doesn't work at that advertising company anymore? That's right. He's been unemployed for a while now. That's why I've had to start working full-time. So then, what's all that stuff he writes in his blog? What blog? Well, Nathan said that he started a blog a while ago, and he shared the site with the family. He mostly posts about his daily life, but he mentions incidents with you from time to time. What sort of incidents has he written about? Well, he complains about you and badmouths you. Basically just makes you seem like a terrible person. What do you mean? Please, tell me in more detail the things he's written. I can't believe the nerve of him! I don't know if it's anything you really want to see. Some of the stuff is really degrading. It's that bad? But it's fine. I still want to know. And I'm pretty sure it's nothing I can't handle, because I have somewhat of an idea about what he might have written. The link is on my laptop, so I'll send it to you later, okay? His blog posts are mostly things like how you haven't cooked a single homemade meal for him since getting married, and how you make him do housework when he gets home from working a full day at the office. Stuff like that. Like he wants his readers to sympathize with him. I knew he gossips with our neighbor and has said things like that before. But I didn't think he'd take it so far as to go behind my back and put all these lies on the internet. Gabrielle, are you okay? I suppose. Like I said, it's not the first time he's said stuff like that about me. He goes around spreading rumors about how I'm such a lazy wife and don't do anything around the house. But it would also be a lie if I said that hearing those kinds of things doesn't take a mental toll on me. My goodness, what was he even thinking to insult you like that? Gabrielle, I'm so sorry. I feel so ashamed that my own adult son could be so foolish. And I'm also sorry for wrongly accusing you, without even knowing the full story. It's just that he wrote about how awfully he was being treated at home, so I got a little worried, like I'm sure any mother would. So that's why I decided to get in touch with you. But it seems like I've jumped to the wrong conclusions. Well, he tells people that he does freelance work from home, but I hate to break the news to you, but he's pretty much unemployed. And I'm actually the one who does all the housework, after I get back from working all day. Also, the reason why I don't make breakfast for him is because he doesn't even wake up until noon. But I make dinner for the two of us every night. Although he hardly ever eats at home, because he goes out drinking so often. I can't believe what I'm hearing. That's just beyond rude. And you've been tolerating his ridiculous antics all this time? I guess I just had to accept it, because there was nothing I could do to change the fact that he quit his job. Especially since he told me that he had discussed with you already about his decision to start freelancing, and that you were completely supportive about it. He was making up these lies to try and fool even you? This really has gone way too far. He never even hinted at anything like that. I just can't believe how out of hand this whole situation has gotten. I'm so sorry. I don't know if I'll ever be able to apologize enough for my empty-headed son. There's no reason for you to apologize. None of this is even your fault. I'm partly to blame for the way he's acting. I probably let a lot of things go, because you know how they say that compromise is a virtue when it comes to a happy marriage. But it sounds like he's just being a huge burden on you. Well, when he first told me that he wanted to pursue something different, I thought it was great that he was willing to challenge himself. So I told him that I would give him a year to try it out. I hadn't seen him so enthusiastic about anything in years, so I was really proud of his initiative. But unfortunately, it seems like I trusted him too much that he would make something out of this past year. And I've had to eat my words. He spent a good deal of time just lounging around at home, and has spent a good amount of money going out drinking with so-called business acquaintances. And to make matters worse, he's been going around gossiping to our neighbors about how I'm a lazy wife who doesn't do any housework. He's even admitted that he's lied about me. He keeps doing it for the laughs. But recently, it's become all too much to handle. You poor thing. Gabrielle, tomorrow is Saturday. Are you off from work? Yes. Would you like to come spend the day here? I'd like to know everything that's been going on recently. His actions are partly our responsibility, being our son and everything, although I'm embarrassed to say so now. Okay, sure. I've wanted to talk to someone about Nathan's attitude for a long time, but it's not an easy topic to bring up with just anyone. I've been keeping it all to myself, but I'm starting to reach my limit now. I can't even imagine how you must have been feeling. You don't need to suffer on your own anymore. Nathan is still my son, and nothing can change that fact. But I want you to know that I think of you as my own daughter, too. As a matter of fact, you're much more intelligent and trustworthy than Nathan. So you can vent to me all you want, until you've let everything you've been holding back out in the air. I'll listen to everything you have to say, even until my ears are about to fall off.
Hey, Gabby. Why didn't you come home last night? Hello? Why aren't you answering me?
Gabrielle stayed here with me last night.
Gabrielle? Who is this?
This is your mother!
Mom? Why? Wait, Gabby's there with you? She should have told me she was going to visit you. I would have come along too. So she spent the night there, without mentioning anything to me. Who does she think she is? What kind of wife just leaves her husband at home? Alone?
I don't think there's anything wrong with what Gabrielle did last night. Besides, I was the one that invited her. And only her. And I told her not to say anything to you.
What do you mean? How come you only invited Gabby? Oh! Was it to talk about my blog?
Sure, you can say that. A full-time housewife who doesn't do any housework. Doesn't even cook meals for her husband. As her mother-in-law, those are some matters that would really worry me. Wouldn't you agree?
Just leave it. This is between me and Gabby. You don't need to get involved. Anyways, enough about me. Can you just tell Gabby to come home already? You're just making things more complicated by trying to get involved. Like I said, this is a problem between husband and wife. There's no room for anyone else to give their input.
I can't let you keep treating Gabrielle this way.
Just let me talk to her, okay?
And why do you think I'd even allow that?
What do you mean, why? First of all, I don't need your permission to talk to my own wife. And besides, there's something I wanted to discuss with Gabby. That's why I'm trying to get in touch with her.
So, what do you need to discuss with her?
It's none of your business.
Perhaps it's about borrowing money to go out drinking tonight?
What?
So I'm right. Gabrielle mentioned that you go drinking almost every week. And clearly she wasn't exaggerating.
There's nothing wrong with having a few drinks once in a while.
A few? Once in a while? You're not even bringing home any money, but you still go out drinking every weekend. And you're actually unemployed, but you put up a front and say that you do freelance work from home. Who are you even trying to fool?
How do you... Wait, did Gabby tell you all this?
I convinced her to tell me everything. Or rather, I forced it out of her. She still has enough respect for you to not make you look so bad. But then, what? Everything you've been telling us about the past year has all been a lie. What is going on in that silly head of yours?
I'm not actually unemployed.
Really? Then what kind of job do you actually have?
I do freelance, here and there.
What kind of freelance? In what type of industry?
Well, like blogs and stuff. And, you know, I get advertising revenue from my website.
You mean that blog where you just complain about and criticize Gabrielle? You only started writing that like 2 to 3 months ago. You can't possibly have earned much from that. And you've been unemployed since last year.
There's no point in trying to explain it to you. You won't get it anyways. But if it makes you feel better, I have several blog sites other than the one you're talking about. And I make a decent revenue from my work online.
Then you should have no problem telling me exactly what it is that you do. I hope you don't think I'm already becoming slow-witted. I'm not even 60 yet. And my mind is still as sharp as a knife. Thank you very much. We may be senior citizens, but we're fully capable of using the internet. And if you haven't noticed, we're also quite proficient with using a smartphone. See how I'm talking to you now? So, let me ask again. Where exactly are you getting your income from?
Oh, be quiet. If you've already heard everything from Gabby, then you know the full story. Why do you have to rub it in like this? Besides, what kind of parent takes it upon themselves to keep nagging their adult child?
I'm only doing this because you're causing so much agony for Gabrielle. If you don't want people pointing out your faults, maybe you should be more aware of them yourself and try to have an honest lifestyle.
Gabby is fine with the way I am, and we're in agreement about me doing freelance, so it doesn't really matter what you think about all this.
Of course it matters! I promised Gabrielle's parents at your wedding that I would take care of their daughter and treat her like my own. But because my own son, being the stupid cow that you are, is now causing her so much grief. You have no idea how embarrassed I feel to call myself your mother. I don't know how I'll ever be able to face them again.
Do you really believe that I'm the only one at fault here?
What do you mean?
Gabby always manages to find some fault with everything I say and do. And it really puts a downer on whatever enthusiasm I have towards finding a new job. Haven't you ever heard the saying, a husband's success is due, in no small measure, to his wife? How far ahead a man gets in life is in large part due to the faithfulness and full support of his wife. Gabby just lacks the ability to do this. That's why she's partly to blame for why I don't have a job yet. I can't believe what I'm hearing. You don't seriously believe in that nonsense, do you? Just because Gabrielle is such a kind-hearted person, you're just taking advantage of her. What kind of wife will happily support a husband that doesn't work? In fact, won't even try to find a job, but still thinks he's so much better than her. You need to get your head out of the clouds already. Why don't you be enough of a man and face the reality that's right in front of you? Gabrielle has sacrificed more than enough for you already. Jeez, talking to you isn't getting anywhere. Just let me talk to Gabby, okay? And do me a favor. Stay out of my business from now on, okay? Well then, fine. You're a hopeless case. Let me get Gabrielle for you. That's what you should have done from the beginning. Why did I even have to be lectured first thing in the morning by my own mother? It's not like I'm a teenager anymore. Ugh, what a depressing way to start the day.
Nathan, it's me.
What do you think you're doing? Why did you have to be such a blabbermouth and disclose everything to my mom?
I thought she was already aware of everything, because that's what you told me.
But didn't you realize that something was off when you were talking to her? Or are you really that dense to not even notice? Ugh, why do I have to spell everything out for you? It doesn't hurt to give your husband some more credit, you know.
Really? Do you honestly think that you're worthy of any credit?
What do you mean?
Well, I said that I'll support you for 1 year because you had a dream that you wanted to pursue, which I thought was a really respectable reason. So I didn't even hesitate to start working full-time to help you achieve your goal. But then, I have yet to see you do any real work at home. You don't even help out with the housework, and you go around spreading rumors about me to our neighbors about how I'm such a failure as a wife. I don't see any reason why I need to honor such a hypocrite.
What? Are you mad at me or something?
I'm beyond mad. I think I've already let this go for way too long. I promised you 1 year, but it's already been longer than that. Besides, you even posted those lies about me in your blog. Don't worry, I took the time to read through it all.
I only created that blog just to increase my access numbers. It's basically like a dummy account. It's all a joke anyways, like usual.
Even though you make your actual name public? I've asked you so many times not to say stuff like that about me. You even went so far as to share that site with your family. And I asked some of our mutual friends about it too. And they even knew about the blog.
That's, well, you know. I just wanted more people to know about my blog so I can get more exposure.
But did you ever think how people would react when they read your posts? Any one of our acquaintances who read it will think that I'm a full-time housewife who doesn't do any housework. I feel like such a fool for all the hard work I put in all these years. I just thought that because marriage is a lifetime commitment, we just had to support one another. I mean, it's not that easy to get divorced these days, you know?
Exactly. And see how we're both supporting one another? So, let's just keep working together for a while longer. Like we always have.
Did you not hear me when I said that I'll wait just 1 year for you to experiment with this new career path? And besides, we definitely don't support one another. I'm the one who's doing all the supporting. And it's totally unbalanced. What exactly are you doing in return to support me?
Well, I'm sure you feel safer just having a male figure at home.
A male figure that goes out drinking every weekend and spends money that he doesn't even earn himself? If being at home alone was my biggest worry, I would feel so much better moving back home with my parents. Even living with a roommate would be less of a burden. That way, no one would feel free to steal my hard-earned money.
Gabby, why don't you calm down for just a sec? I don't know if I told you, but that blog actually has been getting a decent number of hits. If I just keep at it a little longer, I just know there will be a huge profit.
But what about my honor?
Honor? That's a bit over the top, don't you think?
What you're doing is nothing other than defamation. I've waited long enough to say this. I want to get divorced. And I plan to sue you for libel as well.
What? Divorce? A lawsuit? You're not serious, are you?
I wouldn't be saying all this if I wasn't serious. It's not something you can joke about. I thought you would realize your mistake after talking with your mother, but instead of feeling any sort of remorse, you just ended up getting angry and taking your frustration out on her. I see you have no intention of changing the way you are. I think it's time that I finally stop expecting that from you.
Gabby, listen. I'm sorry for all the hardships I've caused you. But I'll work for real this time.
You always say that, and have yet to act on it.
But this time is different. I'll even start looking for a job if that's what you want. I promise I'll contribute to our household income, and I'll stop going out for drinks. I'll never say or do anything to make you unhappy.
Then how come you never did, all those times I've asked you in the past?
Well, I don't know what to say, but maybe I was taking advantage of your kindness and understanding.
So it was all intentional? You were knowingly acting this way.
Maybe. But this time I'm for real. I'm really gonna make an effort.
So what you're saying is that this past year was all a joke? You weren't serious this whole time I was doing everything I can to support you. What makes you think that I'll even believe your lame excuse? Everything I've seen this past year only confirms the fact that you're just all talk and no action. Perhaps that's the skill that you lack. After that, with the help of my in-laws, I was able to finalize my divorce from Nathan. He had to post an apology letter on his blog, and he was ordered to remove all the posts with any mention of me, or of any incident relating to me. Now that the truth is out that he was a lying, deceitful husband this whole time, no one takes him seriously anymore. I filed an official complaint against him, but it never turned into a lawsuit since he agreed to a settlement payment. But because he had no personal savings, he had to sell his computer and other belongings, and cancel his life insurance plan to collect enough money for the settlement. Even that wasn't enough for the full payment, so he's had to take out loans from credit card companies as well. Who knows how he's going to repay the loans, plus interest. But since it's no longer any of my business, I'm not even going to dwell on it. And my lovely in-laws. They were so helpful and supportive throughout this whole ordeal. They even offered to pay compensation in addition to the settlement with Nathan. I wasn't going to accept anything at first, but since they insisted, I ended up giving in to their wishes. They wanted me to use that money to help get a start on my new life, without Nathan. I promised to make good use of their thoughtful donation. As for Nathan, I kicked him out of the house with just the clothes on his back. Just kidding, but I wish that's what I could have done. I was decent enough to pack a small duffel bag with some clothes and toiletries for him. He was crying and begging for forgiveness, asking how he was supposed to survive from now on. Like I should even care. And not surprisingly, I felt no pity for him, even though he was making such a fool of himself. I just moved into my new place, and finally getting a start on my new single life. And since it was a great opportunity, I found a place that was pet-friendly, and decided to adopt a cat, which was always one of my wishes. She's a rescue cat, so she's already full size, but she's very calm and friendly. I'm definitely enjoying spending quiet time with my new cat every day. I've stayed in contact with my former mother-in-law and sent her pictures of my cat from time to time. As a result, she's become quite a cat person herself. We've actually grown closer to each other than before, and she even comes over for lunch every month or so. We gossip about Nathan together, saying things like, "Pets are so soothing and therapeutic, especially since they don't talk back or lie to you. They don't need to be doing anything. Just their presence is adorable." My new cat gets more praise and compliments than Nathan ever did in all our years together. I already feel more relaxed and at ease. I'm ready to now start living a carefree life, just focusing on my own well-being and taking care of my new furry partner.